Moral and life lessons, choosing honesty online and in games. Once upon a time, in a bustling city, there was a school named Wisdomville Elementary. In this school, every Tuesday, the class learned about moral and life lessons. Today, their teacher, Miss Patel, had a special story to share, choosing honesty online and in games. In the heart of Wisdomville Elementary, a student named Jamal sat eagerly at his desk. He loved spending time online and playing games. As he logged into one of his favorites, however, a series of questions swirled through his mind. What if I cheated? What would happen if I lied? As Jamal played his game, he found himself at a crossroads, to cheat or not to cheat. He hesitated, looking at the path that led him toward dishonesty and the one that stood for integrity. He took a deep breath and made a choice. Meanwhile, Jamal's classmate, Mia, watched him play from the other side of the room. She frowned when she saw him take a dishonest action in the game. "Jamal," she whispered to herself, "you're better than that." Back at the computer, Jamal felt a pang of guilt and shame. He looked over at Mia and mustered up an apology. "I'm sorry, Mia," he said softly. "I didn't mean to lie." Miss Patel overheard the conversation and called Jamal to her desk. "It's okay to make mistakes, Jamal," she said gently, "but it's important to learn from them." She went on to teach the whole class about honesty in both online interactions and games. The whole class listened intently as Miss Patel spoke. They knew that honesty was important, but it wasn't always easy. Together, they worked through scenarios and role-played how to make the right choices when faced with dishonesty online and in games. As the days passed, Jamal practiced what he had learned. The next time he was tempted to cheat in his game, he chose integrity instead. He felt a surge of pride and satisfaction as he stood tall against dishonesty. Mia watched proudly as Jamal stood up to honesty. She nodded in approval and smiled at him. "Thank you for making the right choice," she said quietly. On graduation day, the entire class stood tall and proud. They had learned valuable lessons about honesty, not just in games, but in all aspects of life. With their heads held high, they stepped forward into the world, ready to make a difference. As the years passed, Jamal and Mia remained friends. They continued to stand up for what was right, both online and in real life. Their bond grew stronger with each shared experience and each choice they made together. In the end, Jamal's choice to be honest taught him a valuable lesson. Honesty brings peace, friendship, and self-respect. He learned that making the right choice, even when it was hard, was always worth it in the long run. And as he looked back on his time at Wisdomville Elementary, he knew that the lessons he had learned would stay with him forever.